Hey there, Carrie here. All right, today I want to look at whether it's even realistic to try to live a life that's generated with compassion, like to try to go through our world in a compassionate way. We live in a pretty antagonistic and honestly kind of a brutal world, especially these days. And there's this sense of, why should I even try to be compassionate? Because people are really friggin' mean most of the time. And so I want to kind of talk about that question today of, is it even realistic to try to do this? But first, please like this video, like my page, and please share this video so that other people can begin to have these conversations with us. I think these are valuable conversations to have. I think it's incredibly important to address this idea of, when you have an inherently kind nature, and I think a lot of us do, and inherently kind, we care about people, we want to live in a kinder place. How do we go through the world if that's our nature? And living that way tends to get our ass kicked. I mean, really. There are times when, if we are trying to live compassionately and live kindly, we just set ourselves up for a lot of pain. So how do we do it? I think this is an important conversation to have, and if you are interested as well, please share this. Okay, so let's get into the question that we started with. Is it even worth it? Or should we just should we just save our compassionate nature for the people who deserve it? Like the people who have proven to us that they treat us well. And everybody else, it's a free-for-all, and, move out of my way because I'm going to kick ass. I have to decide how much I'm going to swear in these videos as I work through these ideas of living compassionately. How compatible is that with cursing? I was reading Brene Brown over the weekend, and she firmly believes that praying and cursing are not mutually exclusive. So I think I'm on her line. But the idea behind this is, if we don't, and I think here's the question that we have to actually ask. If we are inherently kind-natured, if it's in your heart and it's in your makeup to live in a way that is kind and that treats other people decently, what do you lose by not living that way? What does it cost you if you save that for the people who have proven worthy of it, the people who quote unquote deserve it? What I have learned, and I am happy to have you disagree with me, so please, if you disagree, let me know, because this is an important conversation to have. What I've learned and what I've seen is that if we turn that compassion off and only share it with the people in our inner circle, something inside of us dies. Something inside of us gets protected because we have this kind, soft underbelly, and we build these heart walls around that kindness, and we barrier ourselves and we protect ourselves to where it doesn't atrophy, but a part of us doesn't get to shine, a part of us doesn't get to come out, and we start to judge that part of us inside. We wall that off, and I don't want to say that we die, because that is resuscitatable. We can bring that back to life, but it takes effort to bring it back to life. And so what that means is, if, and for those of us who do have this desire to live in a compassionate way, in a kind way, and we are moving through a world that is not kind, we have to figure out how to walk the line of not getting beat up every day, of not taking in the world's unkindness and being hurt by it, but also living with our heart out and open. And it's the work of a lifetime. It is the work that we actually can strategize. We can actually do certain things to help with that. It's not, we're not without tools. Well, they're tools we have to learn. We have to be taught how to protect that soft, tender underbelly while continuing to live with an open heart. Because not only, in my experience, do we end up walling off and barriering and even judging a part of ourselves. So that part of us that is tender and kind, and that ends up having us get our ass kicked by people who are not tender and kind, or people who don't act in a way that's tender and kind. We wall that off and we tell ourselves that it's bad. Like, that is dangerous. I'm an idiot to behave that way. I was fill in the blank. I was stupid to not have seen that coming, to have been kind to that person who was mean to me. There's the judgment, and if you are one of these people who tries to live kindly, you can fill in the blank with the things that you've told yourself and the ways you've judged yourself for having been kind in a situation that backfired on you. That judging yourself, oh my goodness, the long-term effects of hating a part of yourself, that is soul crippling. That is the work that we spend years and decades in therapy undoing. That's the part that hurts. Yes, getting beat up sucks. Yes, being in a relationship where we are not taken care of and where we are taken advantage of, that's in small degree. Like, if it's a small part of our lives, it hurts a lot. If it's a massive part and a hugely devastating relationship, the implications and the long-term pain of that, those are massive. That kind of trauma is not a simple thing. But the ability to walk through life while remaining kind and compassionate and taking care of the soft underbelly, that gives us the freedom to live our heart, to live from our core, to live joyfully and express the stuff inside that matters, to be who you actually are. I think it's worth it. I think it's especially worth it if you only have to just learn tools, learn ways of protecting yourself. Until I started studying this work, I didn't think it was possible. I thought it was this like this insurmountable dilemma of how do we be kind in an unkind world. I didn't know that there were simple things that we can do, simple practices and tools that we just have to learn in order to continue to live with our heart in a world that isn't very nice, to be perfectly honest. And it's really hard on the sensitive, kind, empathic, and compassionate types. So it's worth it. And then I want to name one other reason that you want to find a way to do this. And that's when we are living from that place that is compassionate. And I mean truly compassionate, not like doormat compassion, not the compassion that just gets you stepped on, but actual powerful compassion. When we can live from there, then we can relax and we can live in a way that doesn't have our stress levels elevated all the time and doesn't have us up in that sense of fight or flight and I'm going to take your head off because you were a jerk to me. That elevation of energy and agitation, it's incredibly unhealthy. That's the silent killer of stress, or what are they calling it? Not the silent killer. Anyway, that's the stress that is so unhealthy for us, especially for those of us who are generally compassionate and kind by nature. If we are having to live in that elevated state of, I'm going to take your head off because you were a jerk to me, and having to close down our inherently kind nature, the stress and the discord that has inside of our bodies keeps us in an elevated state of fight or flight, and that causes untold so many problems, from all kinds of chronic illnesses and pain and all this mysterious stuff that never goes away. After working with chronic illness for this many years, I've learned that that kind of stress is the core of all of these chronic illnesses that just never seem to go away. So not only do we wall ourselves off and begin judging ourselves and set ourselves up for long-term disappointment and self-pain and dislike, but we also set ourselves up for that kind of chronic stress. So if you're saving your compassion and your kindness for the people who deserve it, the people who have already proven to you that they're safe to be kind with, the long-term effects of that are, sadly, they're unhealthy. And it doesn't have to be that way. It's possible to live with a more open heart without getting your ass kicked, without setting yourselves up for people to just walk all over you and take advantage of you. Okay, so if you disagree with me, I want to hear from you. If you have had experiences where you got walked on because you were trying to be compassionate, let's take that apart and see how to be different next time, because it is entirely possible to take care of you and live from your heart at the same time. Okay, all right, thank you. Please, again, like my page, like this video, share this video, and continue the conversation. I want to hear from you, and I especially want to hear from you if you disagree with me. All right, take care. I will see you soon on our next video. All right, over and out. This is Carrie. And done.